In this video, I'm going to show you how to install pipe flashing for your tile roof. Your roof is going to have multiple different pipes and penetrations coming out from it, whether it's for plumbing, heating, air conditioning, or electrical. Regardless, the flashing methods are the same. Always remember to properly waterproof your underlayment as well as your tile roof. When you watch this video, I'm going to show you a few tricks to make sure your pipe flashings never leak. Alright, now that we've got our base layer installed, what we actually want to do is install a piece of pipe flashing around these pipes. We want to do that around all our penetrations. Essentially, the idea is that our underlayment needs to be 100% waterproof. So if we were not to install tile on our underlayment, we would still not have any leaks regardless of how strong of a rain we had. So the way we want to do it is, first off, just install this pipe flashing. Now we want to nail it. We're going to be nailing it just like any other flashing. We don't want to put any nails on the bottom side here. Now, we're still not done with this process. What we want to do is actually install a piece of underlayment on top of this in order to make sure that there's no water that comes in on this top edge right here. You can see if water were to come and roll down here, it would get underneath here and cause a leak. So we want to install a piece right here before installing our top layer to make sure that this is 100% waterproof. So Marco's already cut this out for us. The width of it is not as crucial. Now, before we actually install this, what we want to do is prime our metal. I'm not going to fully prime it, but you're pretty much using an asphalt primer both on your flashing and on your underlayment. You can also do it on your wood deck. What this does is really provides a very solid bond between your self-adhered underlayment and your flashing. All right, now that the primer is dried, we're ready to install the second piece of flashing. We just want to align it on top and now start cutting out the opening. You can see how Marco cut it. He made it wider than the actual pipe flashing itself. There's two reasons for this. Number one is to allow water to properly flow and give a path for the water to come down. Second of all, once we install our tile's not going to be butted up tight against this. It's going to be set back a little bit so that once we have our tile, it's not going to be visible from the exterior. So we have this cut already. We just have to remove our adhesive backing. There we go. With just a few seconds, I'm already having a hard time pulling this off. So again, once the sun heats this up, this is going to be solid, definitely not going to leak. And with this piece of underlayment installed, there's no way this pipe's going to leak. Even if you don't have tiles installed, this is going to be completely waterproof. Now we're at the point where we're getting to our pipe and we've got to install our tile. Now the pipe is in our way. What we're going to do is we're going to mark it out. Again, just as always, you can use your measuring tape to measure this distance. I always like to put the tile up against the pipe flashing and actually make my mark right here. And we're going to do that on both sides. We're going to line it to the top chalk line that we have set out. Now this cut is not extremely important. We can go a little bit larger as it's going to be covered by the pipe flashing. All right, and you can see we're not going to put a nail right here. We don't want to get a nail too close to this flashing. We want to nail a little farther out. Now we've got to install one more tile here on this side, and we'll probably have to make a light notch on it. So we're bringing our tile here. I'm going to use this as a reference point on where to cut. And we just literally need about 1/2 inch off that tile right there. All right, now that we've got these tiles installed, we're ready to install our second pipe flashing. Remember, we have our primary down with our underlayment. We're gonna be installing our second layer of pipe flashing right here. One thing we like to do, just for aesthetics, we like to round these corners off. Again, you don't have to do this at all by any means. We just like to do it, and I think it looks a little nicer and look a little cleaner on the roof. We wanna prime it and paint it prior to the installation on the roof. And if you also get a chance, etching it with vinegar also helps adhesion of the paint. This is something you can always do after the fact, but it just makes it a lot easier and a lot cleaner so that you're not worried about painting your tiles accidentally. Doing it previously just makes your job go easier and gives you a better finished product. Now we're ready to slide this pipe flashing right on. And there you have it. You really don't even have to put nails back here. We definitely don't want any nails here in the front. When we install the next row of tiles, that's what's really gonna hold it down and make sure the wind doesn't lift us up. Now this next tile is a trickier tile. This is a tile that has to be cut in the correct shape, and it's gonna fit snugly around here. Again, you don't have to worry about getting too tight. We can leave about 1/2 inch to 1 inch space between the pipe flashing and the tile itself. So we just want to put it in place right now and make our marks. What I like to do is align the tile, then use a piece of flashing. Really, we're just using this as a ruler. I'm gonna do that on both sides here. Now, in order to get my depth, what I'm gonna do is use the tape measure from the bottom of this tile to the bottom of this. So I've got 5.5 inches. I'm going to give an inch extra. So we're going to cut this at 6.5 inches high. I'm marking at 6.5 right there. Again, there's not going to be a perfect cut, and does not need to be either. Then I'm also going to go 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch wider than the pipe flashing itself. We've got this tile cut already, and we're just gonna pop it in place. You can see that the opening is larger than this pipe flashing, but that's totally fine because any water that's gonna get on here is gonna easily drip down. So unless it's a very visible area, you can work on making this a cleaner and tighter finish. But if it's not visible, like most pipe flashings are not, you can just do this however large you want. And really, you're ready to continue with the rest of your roof and move forward. One tip that I like, and one thing that we like to do, is at this point while we're working here, is actually caulking this joint with a metal adhesive and painting it, just so that we don't have to come back and walk on the tile later. Since tiles tend to break and it's hard to walk on, we don't want to open up more work. So while we're here, we generally caulk this, paint it, and call it a day. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, and do all that good stuff. We have a bunch of other videos for tile roof installation tutorials. If we're missing something, let us know and we'd like to fill it out for you. Thanks for watching.